pediatrics is a difficult specialty because it's a physical specialty.
Yeah.
So, you have to walk from room to room. You gotta sometimes wrestle the kid down to look in his ears.
I got beaten yesterday. You believe that? We were wrestling
Yeah.
the kid,
I do.
holding him down for a strep test for that stupid $5, and the kid bit my belly.
The belly.
Yeah,
It's
because I
quite a
was like
place to
hovering
bite.
over him.
Yeah.
You just got me.
That's pretty funny.
It
Are you
wasn't
up to
funny.
date on your rabies vaccine?
It wasn't funny. The students thought it was funny, but
Yeah, I think it's funny. But that, you do realize as a physician that aging is a real thing. And, being on your feet for 12 hours for a 12-hour shift, which I used to do when I was in my early 20s and 30s, is not going to be a possibility in my late 60s. It's just my bones are going to be tired. But I don't want to just sit home and do nothing. So I think for me, that's part of the pivot, which is, what will I be doing when I'm 75? I don't want to just be sitting in the
Or 65
library.
or 55, like to George's point. I think it's important that we talk to medical students about this and our
yes.
trainees about this, that like you need to have outside interests that either can be part of medicine that you can integrate into your medical life, kind of like we're doing with this podcast, or outside interests that are completely unrelated that you can use to continue growing and challenging yourself as a person, or maybe both, because, there is going to become a time where the stuff that you do becomes mundane.
Yeah.
And some people
Yeah.
find that in academic practice, right? They're doing research, they're pushing the limits of what can be done in the operating room, or they've got research grants and they're trying to they're finding their interests that way. And in us, it could be running our practice. Like I help with patient experience. And so I take the wisdom that I've gained from, 450 episodes of podcasting, on a lot of which were about communication. And I'm using that to help my practice grow and improve with patient experience. I think it's important to have and cultivate, and it's important for our trainees and our students to recognize that this is going to be important, that they can't just rely on medicine and seeing patients. There needs to be something else that they need to have an eye on and interest in so that they can cultivate it and they can continue to challenge themselves and grow as a person and a professional.
Yeah,
I
but
think
what I would see with that, I mean, you're doing patient experience, engagement, reviews. I saw on your website, everybody has a lot of reviews. That takes time.
Yeah.
And when are you going to do this? Because you're busy seeing patients. I need a dedicated day to do this stuff.
But then I'm not getting revenue
And
because I'm not seeing patients. Right? If I
exactly.
take a dedicated day to do this, right? Like right now, we're recording this. It's 10 o'clock in the morning on a
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I had to take half a day off in order to do this. And so that's lost revenue. How am I going to balance? I think what you're asking about is work-life balance.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going with this?
Yes.
Well,
So,
I just think I think sometimes too, when you're doing something that you're passionate about, that's playing the guitar or doing the podcast or patient experience, people have different passions. You may lose the revenue of these 4 hours that we're doing to prepare for the podcast, taping the podcast, so forth. But you're re-energized so that when you're back in the exam room, you are doing so much better and you're so much more efficient because you have energy again. And people, I think, do not give enough importance to that, which is, if you fill your passion buckets, you have more energy to do things that you're good at, but you're no longer, it's mundane work. I mean, I don't need to see another ear infection or another strep throat in my life. But it doesn't bother me anymore because I have the things that, I'm trying to get good at. And this is just what I do to make money and help people. So
But it's
wh-
going to take a piece out of your paycheck. So I think for
it is.
me, it's important to pursue what you're passionate in. And it's also important to keep an eye on your why. And so, one of the things that I've tried to do with this podcast and is, grow the audience to the point where I can get sponsors and then have those sponsors pay enough that I can scale back on my clinical time